Hello students, welcome to Ekam IAS Academy. I am Major Oberoi, one of the faculty members and the academic advisor of the institute. I thought because some of the students who have planning to join for UPSC foundation class, before you kickstart your preparation, it is very important that you should know the do's and don'ts of UPSC preparation. See, generally what happens is, when a student joins the foundation batch, it is only after that the student realizes some mistakes in her or his strategy. So it is always wise to work on the right strategy or having the knowledge of the right strategy initially itself, so that if any changes in your approach to UPSC preparation can be carried out before you actually start your preparation. Okay. So in the next one and a half hour or so, I'll take you along the entire journey of UPSC, what UPSC is all about, how the structure of the UPSC examination is there, what needs to be done in order to crack this examination in the first attempt, what would be the mistakes that you would commit while preparing for this examination, how to avoid those mistakes, and staying calm throughout the preparation journey. These are all the dimensions that I will be talking in the next one and a half hour or so. Okay? So let's start. Firstly, I have seen many students aspiring to do UPSC with a dream of cracking this examination in the first attempt. Chala mandi pillalu, many students, they say, sir, I have this dream of cracking this examination in the first attempt. But the problem is, they think that first attempt means they can clear this examination in the first year of their preparation itself. So this is not true. First attempt does not mean within 1 year of your preparation. Generally, for writing UPSC examination, it is said that as per thumb rule, minimum 18 to 20 months of preparation is required before you actually sit in the UPSC examination. So, if you are planning to write in 2025, because 2025 somewhere in the month of May, prelims is going to be held. So, if you are planning to write in May next year, then this is the time for you to start your preparation by joining any institution. Okay? Now, in the beginning itself, I would like to clarify one thing, that coaching is not compulsory for UPSC. Understand? Coaching is not compulsory. Please come out of this mindset that coaching is compulsory. But what coaching gives you, understand that coaching basically tries to reduce the time period that you would need for passing this examination. Coaching does not guarantee your success, it only reduces your time period. I told you 18 months of time, but if you are preparing on your own, you can straight away add 12 months to this preparation. It means if you are preparing on your own, a minimum of 30 months of preparation is required if you want to pass this examination in the first attempt. Now the basic question is, why the time period increases? What happens is, when you are taking coaching, your classes are scheduled on time and you attend those classes on time. So in a time bound manner, your complete syllabus coverage happens in a coaching setup. But however, when you are preparing on your own, ensuring that you follow a strict routine for yourself is the biggest task. For this, you need to be very strongly self-disciplined. And many a times it so happens, if you are preparing on your own, you are unable to maintain this routine. Primarily because of this reason, it is that you need to add 12 months into your preparation. When I am saying 18 months of time, it includes the preparation for your GS, for your CSAT, and also your optional. These are the three important dimensions that you need to understand. It will take 18 months of time. Trust me, optional alone will take good about 8 months of time. And if you are weak in mathematics, unluckily if you are weak in mathematics, then please give anywhere between 5 to 6 months of time for your CSAT also. So if you combine everything, it will come to 18 to 20 months. So do not be in a hurry. If you have decided for any reason, the reasons could be any for doing it on your own, write in the calendar that it will take 30 months. Do not be in a hurry to write the examination. I have seen many students, sir, they come for classes, foundation classes. When I am doing their counseling initially, they tell, sir, I have already given 1 attempt or already given 2 attempts. Never ever commit a mistake of attempting UPSC examination without proper preparation. It is meaningless. Why? Because students say, sir, I went to write the examination just to get a feel of it. Trust me, that feel of examination, attempting sitting in the examination hall without any preparation support is of no use to you. You will not derive any information or knowledge or skill set about passing this examination. So there is no point going and writing this examination without any support. If you are from a general category where only the number of attempts are only 6, then this could be the gravest mistake that you will commit in your UPSC preparation. So never ever commit this mistake. Okay. Now, the second, we now start with our presentation. Initially, I will talk about the structure of this examination. Some of you may be aware of the structure, but for the benefit of all, I will just try to repeat what the structure of UPSC examination is. The UPSC examination is primarily held in 3 stages: prelims, mains and interview. These are the 3 stages of UPSC examination. Prelims is objective, mains is subjective, and interview is basically your personality test, where you will be going to Delhi and what you call appearing yourself in front of the UPSC examination. In prelims, there are 2 papers, and in mains, there are 9 papers. I will explain this mains paper in little detail for you, for your understanding. When we say prelims, we'll do the prelims first. I said prelims has 2 papers. The first paper is called the GS paper, and the second paper is called the CSAT paper, Civil Services Aptitude Test paper. The GS paper has 100 questions, and the CSAT paper has 80 questions to answer. 100 questions and 80 questions. Now, as I told you, prelims is objective. All the questions are in objective format, and it is only qualifying in nature. It means you need to get a requisite number of marks to qualify this paper. Now, CSAT paper will cover this paper first. It is basically Civil Services Aptitude Test. In this, basic mathematics is there, general reasoning is there, and reading comprehension. These are the 3 sub parts of your CSAT paper. 80 questions, each question carrying 2.5 marks. So the total comes to 200 marks. Now, what the UPSC says is, any student, irrespective of the reservation category of the student, you need to get 66 marks in this paper to qualify this paper. You need to get 66 marks. If you get 66 out of 200, it means that you have qualified the paper 2. It is same across for everybody, whether you are a general category student or you are a reservation category student. Now, coming to paper 1, that is the GS paper. The GS paper, as I told you, it has 100 questions and each question carrying 2 marks. So, making it 200 marks. Now, though for the CSAT paper, the number of marks is predetermined, prefixed by UPSC 66 marks, it is not so for the GS paper. The qualifying of this GS paper is based on something known as the cutoff. You should get a minimum number of marks to qualify this paper. It is determined by something known as cutoff. How UPSC comes to this cutoff, किसी और दिन बात करेंगे. But now understand, going by the trend 2023, for the general category students, the cutoff varied between 85 to 86. This was the bracketing of cutoff for general category student. So if you are a student from unreserved category, general category, if you get 85 or 86 out of 200, then you have qualified your paper 1 also of the prelims. And for depending on your reservation category, 2 to 3 marks ka variation would be there. 2 to 3 marks of variation would be there. So this is how the UPSC decides the cutoff for the GS paper 1. Now, assuming that you have cleared the 66 marks of CSAT paper and cleared the cutoff, it means that you have qualified in your prelims examination. As we have discussed, the first stage is prelims. So both the papers you have qualified. Now we come to mains examination. Now the mains examination, as I told you before, it has a total of 9 papers. It has a total of 9 papers. Out of this 9 papers, 2 papers are language papers. 2 papers are language papers. First is English, this is a compulsory paper, and the second is any Indian language which is mentioned in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. So you can pick up any, it could be Telugu, it could be Hindi, it could be Kannada, it could be Tamil, any language that has a mention in the 8th schedule can be picked up as the one of the languages here in paper. But English happens to be a compulsory paper. Now, this paper, each paper is for 300 marks each. Each paper is for 300 marks each, and UPSC has told this is just a qualifying paper. Both these papers are qualifying papers only. So you need to get a minimum of 75 marks. They say 25% you need to score. So you need to get 75 marks in each paper to qualify this exam. So once you get a minimum of 75 in both the papers, you have qualified in the languages paper of the mains. So as I told you, there are 9 papers, we have covered 2. So 7 are remaining. Which are these 7 papers? Let's see. The first paper in this is known as your essay paper. Is known as your essay paper. And this essay is for 250 marks. The essay is for how many marks? 250 marks. Then you have 4 GS papers. GS paper 1, GS paper 2, GS paper 3 and GS paper 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All carrying 250 marks each. All carrying 250 marks each. For your information, for rough understanding, GS paper 1 is primarily your history and geography. There are some small social issues topics also, but primarily it is history and geography. Paper 2 is polity and international relations and some dimensions of society. In paper 3, you have economy, science and technology, disaster management, environment and ecology, internal security. So these are the subsets of your third paper, GS paper 3. And GS paper 4 is your ethics paper. So this is the distribution of the subjects in the GS papers. Now, 250 marks, 250, 250, 250, 250. So 250 into 5 makes it 1250 marks. So out of 9 papers, we have covered 2 language papers and 5 1 essay and 4 GS papers. So total 7 papers are over, 2 more are left. Which are these 2 papers? These are the papers related to your optional. In this, 1 subject but 2 papers. You can pick up any subject, where, like subjects like sociology, anthropology, history, public administration, political science and international relations, agriculture, zoology. There is a long list of subjects which UPSC gives an option for a student to pick up. 1 subject, 2 papers. Only 1 subject you have to pick up, 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2, both carrying 250 marks each. So the total goes to 1750 marks. Now it means your mains is for 1750 marks. I told you before itself, the language papers are only qualifying in nature and they do not count for your merit. That is the reason why I did not take that 500 in this count. So it means from the perspective of getting a rank, these are the subjects whose total would be counted for your merit, 1750 marks. And in the third stage, as we discussed before, the third stage is basically your interview stage. It is actually called personality test, not interview, but generally students use the word interview, right? Personality test. I told you 1750 marks is your mains. Then here the interview is for 275 marks. So the total goes to 2025 marks. 2025 marks. If anybody gets anywhere near to 50% also, any student scoring near to 50% also, be rest assured they are fighting for any rank between 1 to 10. So overall 2025 means even if you get around 1000 marks, you are fighting for 1 to 10 position. That is the standard of UPSC paper. You would have got 95%, 99% in your intermediate, maybe 90% above in your graduation, but however getting 50% in UPSC is a big challenge. So that is how the standard of paper is known to be high. So these are the three stages of UPSC examination. I thought I'll explain to all of you, right? So these all dimensions we have covered. Now, coming to one important aspect of UPSC is basically the age limit, educational qualification and the number of attempts that the UPSC gives. For a general category student, the age limit prescribed by UPSC is 21 to 32 years. Minimum 21 years, maximum 32 years. There is an age relaxation depending on which category you belong to. If you belong to the OBC category, you will get 3 years of extension so that you can write till 35. If you are from SC, ST, 32 plus 5 years is 37. If you are ex-serviceman, same 37 years. If you are a physically handicapped, 32 plus 10 makes it 42. So you can write up till 42 years. From the perspective of qualification to write this examination, what UPSC says is you must just hold a degree. It means whether you have got 95% marks, whether you have got 35% marks, UPSC does not make any difference. So all UPSC wants is that you should hold a degree that is earned even through distance education is a qualifying degree for UPSC. Okay? Now, number of attempts for the general category students, the number of attempts is 6. For the OBC students, they get 9 attempts, and for SC, ST students, there is no limit. It means from 21 to 37, an SC, ST student can write 16 attempts also, up till his age permits to write the examination. So there are limitations on the number of attempts of 6, 9 and unlimited attempts for the SC, ST students. Okay? Now we are now entering into the main crux of the examination. What is this main crux? The main crux is, can I pass this examination and get All India first rank in my first attempt? Can I get All India first rank in my first attempt? And the answer to this question is a big yes. Now, if the answer to this question that you can get All India first rank in first attempt, a yes, then how is the next question? How can you get All India first rank in the first attempt? Now the entire presentation from here onwards is concentrating on this how only. How to get first rank in the first attempt. Now, what you should do to get this first rank in your first attempt? What you should do? You should have a subject-wise strategy. Each and every subject you may find it little different than the other. For example, Say, as I told you, there are so many subjects in UPSC. For example, we consider these 4 subjects as the pillars of UPSC examination: history, polity, economics and geography. These are the 4 pillars of UPSC examination. Trust me, if anybody is failing, known to you, maybe your elder, maybe your friend, maybe your known people, if they are failing UPSC year after year, trust me, do not ask them the reason. Trust me, 99% of them will tell these are the 2 subjects because of which they are failing prelims examination. So, you need to have a subject wise strategy. What happens is, in UPSC, most of the students are okay with polity. Most of the students are okay with polity. Why? Because polity happens to be the most what you call prepared subject in UPSC. People read polity 1, 2nd, 3rd revision, 4th revision, 5th revision, 6th revision. But when it comes to subjects like economics and history, that reservation number will come down drastically. So that is the reason why for polity generally students will have okay preparation. The preparation suffers for these 3 subjects, that will pull you back. Try to understand. See, as we spoke before, prelims has 100 questions. This is what I told you. Trust me, out of this 100 questions that UPSC gives, trust me, 45 to 48% the questions standard of the question is average and below average. The standard of question is average and below average. But the problem is, students do not target this and they target to prepare for a difficult question. That is where they will miss on the bus. So try to understand, I am not saying do not prepare for a difficult question. I am saying prepare for a difficult question only after you guarantee that you will not commit a single mistake in this percentage of the questions. If you remember, I told you 2023 the cutoff for general category students was 86. It means below average questions you are getting 86. 48 into 2. You have already, even if I take 45 into 2, you are already safe by 4 marks. I told you standard is either average or below average. But the problem is we do not prepare these pillars well. So have a proper subject wise strategy. See, every subject has a static part and a dynamic part. Every subject has a static part and a dynamic part. Dynamic part is basically your current affairs part of that paper. Generally, what happens is, students without improving their static part, they try to master the dynamic part. That will not happen. And how to master the static part? The one word answer is your NCERT, your class notes and standard textbooks. These are the 3 dimensions that you need to cover exhaustively to get a strong hold on the static part. And once you get a hold on static part, trust me, understanding the dynamic part becomes easier. Anything related to the concept, if it is there in the current affairs, say for example, the office of governor is in news quite often. The issue related to death sentence is in news. The issues related to office of president is in news. Election commission is one of the favorite topics of UPSC. For some or the other reasons, election commission would be in the news. So if you know the entire static dimension of the election commission, then if you try to understand the dynamic part, it will be an easy transition from static to dynamic. So for every subject, try to have a proper strategy base build up for each subject. I am telling you, you need subject wise strategy. Then mains oriented preparation. Starting onwards, keep your orientation of preparation from the mains perspective. Why? Because I told you prelims is only qualifying. There is no point you scoring 200 out of 200 when it is not required. But you need to score as much possible in the mains examination. So that is the reason why mains oriented approach should be the approach. Then address the weak areas thoroughly. I told you generally what happens is, I'll tell you as per the trends that is going on now, I'll tell you where the weak areas of the student lie. The weak area of the student lies in economics. The weak areas of the students lie in history, especially two dimensions, medieval history and art and culture. They would be weak. I am talking from the perspective of prelims only. From the perspective of prelims only. Now, they would be, I am sure, weak in CSAT preparation. If you know that you are weak in these three subjects, it is strongly advisable from day one have a specific strategy for this. But what generally the students do is, they try to avoid the weakness and try to build up on their strength. Trust me, no matter how much you build up on your strength subject, there is a limitation that you cannot score beyond a point. But when you have a big chunk of weakness, that will definitely pull you down. So from day one, target your specific weak areas. Otherwise, you will be struggling. Guidance of a mentor at every stage is a must. Whether you are taking classes or you are preparing on your own, I sincerely advise to take the support of a mentor who can guide you. We will come back to mentorship couple of slides ke baad. And revision is the key. See, if you do not revise without revision, trust me, you will commit an error in final selection of the answer. Generally, students come to me and then say, out of the 4 options given, I am able to come to those 2 options, but I am making a mistake in the final selection of the correct option. That is happening primarily because of the absence of revision. Revision is a must in UPSC. And revision ka there is a simple golden rule, 1-3-7 rule. What is this 1-3-7 rule? First revision within 24 hours, whatever you have studied or read. Second revision within 72 hours, that is 3 days. And the third revision within 7 days. If you follow this 1-3-7 rule, trust me, you will not forget any of the content that you have studied. But the problem is, students do not cater for this. Okay? The students who are listening are kindly requested to switch off their mics so that the other students will find it difficult to listen. Okay? Now, understand these pitfalls in UPSC. This is a big identifying the pitfalls in UPSC. Now the question is, what all can be a pitfall? What all can be a pitfall? Pitfall is basically, in loose language, if we have to say, a pit where there is a chance that you may fall in the pit. What is this pitfall? The pitfall is, your friend suggested instead of textbook we will prepare through guide. This is a pitfall. Your friend suggested instead of doing PYQs, let's do only test series given by some institution. This is a pitfall. This is a pitfall. Your friend suggests revision is not important, let's try to cover as many books as possible without reservation. This is a pitfall. Not starting the preparation on time. Not starting on time. It is also a pitfall. Giving the examination when you are not prepared but out of rush, you have given this examination, it is a pitfall. What happens is, once you start your UPSC journey with a failure result, trust me, it will take long time to convert this failure into success. So it is suggested, if you are not ready, do not fall into the pitfall of attempting just for the sake of it. Try to avoid these pitfalls as far as possible. And one most important pitfall that generally students commit is random preparation without any strategy. Randomly they will prepare. There is, what is this random preparation? Let me just highlight. What is this random preparation? There is no schedule. What I will read today, there is no schedule. Randomly, whichever book is on the top of the table, you pick up that book and you start reading. So there is no schedule that you prepare for reading. Second, what is this random? Not identifying where you are finding the problem. If you are, say for example, you have a problem with medieval Indian history because of its exhaustiveness. You have a problem here. You have to identify that and give more time to this. If you don't do this, you are randomly preparing without any probability of your success. There is no introspection of your performance. It means you are not taking any test to see whether your performance is improving or not. You are not seeking the advice of a mentor. This is all random preparation. Trust me, it will lead you nowhere in UPSC. To come out of this randomness, you will take 5 years. If you are into the loop, it is said, my guru used to tell, my mentor used to tell, Oberoi, you commit one mistake in UPSC, the cost that you will pay is you will keep running around UPSC for 5 years. So, do not commit any of these mistakes. Okay? Now, there is a difference between knowledge and skill. Knowledge and skill. Now, you have studied something from the book, you got the knowledge. But why is it so, despite you getting knowledge, you are not clearing prelims or mains examination? Because you were not able to convert this knowledge into skill. This problem comes especially in the dimension of mains exam. You know everything. You know everything because you have read everything. You know everything because you have read everything. But the problem is, despite the fact that you have read everything, you are not able to present it properly. That is primarily because you did not work towards converting your knowledge to a skill set of answer writing. If you do not do this, do not work on this from initially, trust me, you will find it difficult. There are some people who say you should start answer writing after your prelims examination. But that is not a right strategy because you won't have time. Nowadays, after prelims and mains, hardly 80 to 85 days is only there. Because if in that period you start writing to learn how to write examination, the mains answer, you have optionals to take care of, you have essay paper to take care of, you have ethics paper to take care of, you have entire GS papers to take care of. So that time may not be sufficient. So it is suggested from day one, try to, day one in the sense, at least from month onwards, you try to start converting your knowledge into skill set. That will give you a big flip in your mains performance. Okay? Understand this. Knowledge versus skill set. Now, despite the fact we repeatedly tell not to commit some mistakes, the students end up committing these mistakes. Hurried preparation, inconsistency in the preparation, writing examination unprepared under parental pressure, knowledge alone approach, missing the skill set approach, mugging up the data. Instead of trying to internalize the data and form an opinion out of the data, we end up mugging up the data. And one of the biggest problems with the student is they start comparing their preparation with the others. This is the gravest mistake that you can do in UPSC. Generally what happens in UPSC, there are some category of students who come for foundation classes after a certain amount of time of their self preparation. And they are the ones who generally answer the questions of the teacher in a classroom. So, వాళ్ళకి ఏంటంటే ఈజీగా what the others feel is, అరే వీళ్ళ సే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఐఎమ్ న్యూ టు ది క్లాస్, నాకు అసలు ఏం రాదు, నేను క్లాస్లో కూర్చున్నాను. ఇంకొక అబ్బాయి ఏంటి కొంచెం ప్రిపరేషన్ చేసుకొని వచ్చాడు. సో హీస్ ట్రయింగ్ టు ఆన్సర్స్ ఆల్ ది క్వశ్చన్స్ వాట్ టీచర్ ఈజ్ ఆస్కింగ్. టీచర్ అడిగినవన్నీ వాడు ఆన్సర్ ఇస్తున్నాడు, నీకేం లోపల నుంచి భయం వస్తుంది, ఏంటి వీడు అన్నీ చెప్తున్నాడు, నాకేంతో ఏది రాదు, అసలు నేను చేయగలనా అని ఒక పెద్ద క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్ వచ్చేస్తుంది, మన మీద మనకే క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్ వస్తుంది. సో నెవర్ ఎవర్ కమిట్ ఎ మిస్టేక్ ఆఫ్ కంపేరింగ్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. ఒక 6 months వరకు క్లాస్ రూమ్లో నేను తెలుసుకోవాలి అనే ఉద్దేశంతోనే రండి. సో వన్స్ యూ సిట్ ఇన్ ద క్లాస్ రూమ్ ఫర్ 6 months, ట్రస్ట్ మీ, you will start answering the way you were fearing somebody else. నువ్వు వాడిలాగా డెఫినెట్గా ఆన్సర్ ఇవ్వగలుగుతావు ఆఫ్టర్ సర్టన్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ టైం, మేబీ 4 months, మేబీ 5 months, మేబీ 6 months. బట్ ట్రస్ట్ మీ, బై ది ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ క్లోజర్ ఆఫ్ ది ఫౌండేషన్ కోర్స్ నువ్వు ఆ అబ్బాయి రెండు ఒకటే కామన్ ప్లేన్లో వచ్చేస్తారు. సో దెర్ ఇస్ నో పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైం దట్ యూ షుడ్ కంపేర్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ విత్ ది అదర్స్. ఇట్ ఈజ్ ఓన్లీ దట్ వాడు నీకన్నా కొంచెం ముందు స్టార్ట్ చేశాడు కాబట్టి కొన్ని విషయాలు వాడికి తెలిసి ఉండొచ్చు. సో దట్ ఈస్ హౌ, డూ నాట్ ట్రై టు సీ దట్ యు ఆర్ నాట్ ఇన్ ది రేస్, అలా ఏం కాదు. ఓకే, నౌ ఎన్సీఆర్టీ బుక్ చదవాలా వద్దా అని చాలామంది మాట్లాడతారు. అండ్ దేర్ ఆర్ సమ్ స్కూల్ ఆఫ్ థాట్ విచ్ సేస్ దట్ ఎన్సీఆర్టీ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. దెర్ ఈజ్ అ స్కూల్ ఆఫ్ థాట్ which says that no NCERT is important. I belong to the category which says that NCERT is important. Now the idea is, now the question is, why NCERT is important? Why NCERT is important? This is what I want to know. Why NCERT is important? Now the answer to this question is, most of the students are from non-arts background. They are either BTechs, or they have done what you call BSc, or they have done BBA in some dimensions, BCom and all in some dimensions. So for this category of students, reading NCERT becomes a must, so that they can get the basic foundation understanding strong. Basic ఫౌండేషన్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ వాళ్ళకి స్ట్రాంగ్ అయిపోతుంది. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ అడ్వైజబుల్ ఫర్ దీస్ కేటగిరీ ఆఫ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ టు రీడ్ ది NCERTs. నౌ ది నెక్స్ట్ బిగ్గర్ క్వశ్చన్ రిలేటెడ్ టు NCERTs ఇస్, సమ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ సే, sir, should we complete our NCERTs and come? See, the answer to this, and come for the foundation, the answer to this question is no. There is no prima facie requirement to complete and come. If you have done it, well and good, but trust me, if you have done it on your own without any guidance, I am sure you would have derived maximum 30% of knowledge from NCERT, not more than that, trust me. But if you are doing it under guidance of somebody, that is when the value of information that you will take home would be more. So even if you have completed before the start of your course, okay, not great, you have got 30%. You can do it parallelly with your course also. You can do it parallelly with your foundation course. When you do it parallelly with your foundation course, that is when you hit the 50% to 60% target of understanding the NCERTs. If you have done it before, fairly okay, up to 30% you have an advantage, but if you are doing parallelly also, that is perfectly alright. Now, how many times we need to read NCERT? This is a second question or the third question the students ask. How many times? How many times we need to read NCERTs? As I told you, one thorough reading at the start of your preparation. One thorough reading at the start of preparation. What is this thorough reading? The thorough reading is basically, you make notes also when you are reading. This is the thorough reading. Second is the revision reading. Second is the revision reading that you will do after you complete the entire NCERTs. Then you do a quick revision reading. For example, if you have taken 3 months to complete this complete NCERTs, within 10 to 15 days you try to revise all of them once. Revise all of them once. and the third reading is once before your prelims examination. Before your prelims examination, you should again read it once. Anywhere between 60 to 80 days before your prelims examination, again this is a kind of a thorough reading. May not be for 3 months like this, but definitely earmark 25 to 30 days for NCERT. It has been observed, like last year 2023 prelims also, around 11 to 16 questions came from NCERT. So there is no point you should missing on to them. 11 to 16 questions. This is for prelims. And when it comes to mains, after prelims is over, your mains preparation will start with NCERTs. Your mains preparation will start with NCERTs. Always start with NCERTs. For mains, only there are three or four dimensions. NCERT, your class note, standard textbook and newspaper. No guide, nothing will come handy other than these four. NCERTs, your class note, standard textbook and newspaper. These are the four things that are important. So from my perspective, NCERT is an important this thing. Standard textbook versus guide, my vote will always go for a standard textbook only. My vote will always go for a standard textbook. Okay? Yeah. There is no problem for people who are stammering. Stammering is not a physical criteria. You will not have any kind of what you call this thing for stammering. Don't worry. Even if you stammer, no problem. Achha, there is a observation that students with a strong academic background fail in UPSC. There is a rumor that students with strong academic background fail in UPSC. I won't use the word fail in UPSC, but I may agree to the word that they struggle in UPSC. Why a strong academic background student struggle in UPSC is, it is not that they are not understanding, it is that they are not able to maintain the consistency in their effort, consistency for a certain period of time. They are unable to maintain that consistency. That is the reason why they struggle in UPSC. Students from weak academic background, from non-English background, they have the capacity to struggle. They toil for many number of hours per day and they try to convert their weakness into strength. But when it comes to students with strong academic background, they generally hesitate to do hard work in a consistent manner. That is where the problem comes. Okay? But otherwise it is not a criteria or anything. Okay? I told you I will speak about mentorship once with you all. See, understand, what actually the mentor does is, he is safeguarding you from myths and rumors. అపోహల నుంచి మిమ్మల్ని కాపాడుతాడు. అంటే అందరు ఈ బుక్ చదువుతున్నారు, నువ్వు కూడా ఇది చదువు అని ఫ్రెండ్ చెప్తాడు. ది మెంటర్ విల్ టెల్ యూ వెదర్ యూ షుడ్ స్టడీ దట్ బుక్ ఆర్ నాట్. ఫైండింగ్ ఫాల్ట్ లైన్, నువ్వేమన్నా ప్రిపరేషన్లో తప్పులు చేస్తున్నావా, ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ డూయింగ్ ఎనీ mistakes in your preparation, the mentor will help you. Hand holding on preparation, if you are struggling with any subject, the mentor has the responsibility to hand hold you and ensure that you improve your performance in that particular subject. Very important, which book is good, which standard textbook is good for which subject, the responsibility of sharing this knowledge and awareness with the student is of the mentor and helps you keep motivated. So this is one of the important, because UPSC is a long drawn battle, 18 to 20, 24 months at times. So you need to stay motivated. So here the role of a mentor comes into play. Okay. And a word about the structure of our course. The foundation course that we are starting from the 22nd of January. The course duration is for around 9 months. It will the course duration is around 9 months. It will be starting from 22nd of January 2024. 22nd of January 2024. Our institute has the reputation for bringing the best of the faculties from all over the country, right? I do not know Tamil. Somebody is asking me to explain in Tamil. I can't do that. Sorry. Classes would be conducted from Monday to Friday, and daily 3 to 4 hours of classes would be there. At times the duration of classes will cross 4 hours also, depending on what stage of classes we are going in. Current affairs every Saturdays. Nowadays we have shifted from Saturdays to Friday, but once a week, one class in a week would be dedicated for current affairs, and what you call, there will be you will be provided with daily, weekly, monthly current affairs to the students. And we have a website which gives lot of preparation related support to our students. Generally the students log into the website and extract lot of data which is available there. We have the distinction of providing study material for all the GS subjects that I had listed in the past. We provide study material for all the subjects that we have that are part of your UPSC examination. I told you dedicated mentorship would be given. Each and every student who takes the foundation batch will get a dedicated mentor who will guide them throughout their foundation course. And test series, as part of your this thing, we also provide you with NCERTs and comprehensive test series both for prelims and mains as well. So this is a complete package that takes care of your complete preparation for UPSC, right? What we promise, these are the 5 dimensions which I would like to tell. There would be sincere efforts to help the student. Any decision taken on the platform of Ekam is basically, it is student centric. We keep the student in the center of decision making and then we take a decision. I promise you to ensure that you get deep learning, that is concept plus current affairs. The idea is to improve your confidence level and also your personality. We aspire to bring in a personality in you that reflects a bureaucrat in your personality. This is the idea. And most importance to communication skills. I see some of the students are asking us to talk in Telugu, Tamil and all. If you have decided to give this examination in UPSC in English medium, I suggest you start working on your vocabulary from day one. See, the UPSC vocabulary is very unique because you don't have to have that high school English grammar for UPSC. That is of no use. UPSC has its own vocabulary. Over a period of time you will develop that vocabulary, so you need not worry. Okay. And last, from day one realize these 3 things. One, that we need to learn the art of questioning. Whatever is happening in this society, develop a questioning mindset to that. It will help you. In this self preparation, preparing for bits is basically you can take the test series support. One of the student is asking how to prepare for bits when you are doing your self preparation. So you need to take some test series support. Develop the courage to bring change. This is one dimension of your personality that you need to develop as part of this preparation. And also do not completely rely on any platform for your success. Self learning is a very big contributor in your success journey. So develop these 3 dimensions also. One quote, I would like to end the today's session with a quote, where the quote was given by one of the presidents of America, Theodore Roosevelt, who says, courage is not having the strength to go on, it is going on when you don't have the strength. So this is about UPSC preparation. If anybody wants to ask any question either through chat or through a voice message, they can ask. We can give them the access to voice. If anybody wants to ask any question, in fact even after this webinar is over, you can call the institution and request the counselor to connect to me over phone or something. If you want to personally ask something to me, you can do that as well. We'll wait for another 1 or 2 minutes, then we can ask. That's okay, perfectly all right. See what happens there's a very good question actually he asked. In the personality test, mentioning a hobby is one of the criteria. If I remember paragraph 7 you need to mention about your hobbies and extracurricular activities. In your DAF, there is something known as detailed application form that you will be filling after your mains examination. This is where you need to mention your hobby. Now, many people are misguided in what is to be filled in this hobby. Many students are misguided. Why the students are misguided? Generally the students are told that we need to definitely give a hobby. One, there is no definite requirement. Two, you should give, generally people say, photography, people say gardening, people say reading books. This is what they give. But understand, UPSC is not interested to only know what your hobby is. UPSC is also interested to know how deeply you are connected with your hobby. If there is no deep connection with anything, I suggest not to just write proxily. Develop a hobby, because 18 to 20 months of time is a fairly good enough amount of time. Develop a hobby. Say for example, you want to develop a hobby on reading books. In that reading books, go for any one genre. Can be a fiction, can be a non-fiction, it could be a Hindi fiction, it could be a English non-fiction, or a particular author specific, or a particular genre specific. So over a period of time, develop your expertise on that. See, generally it is understood that, you will also agree with me, you would have come across a lot of friends you might be having. Any friend who has a hobby, if you observe that friend very closely, you will see that he is a very balanced person in his academic life, in his personal life also. Because what happens is, it is generally understood, any person who's got a hobby, he is a person of a balanced mind. He is trying to balance his academic requirement, his professional requirement and his personal requirement. So the idea of finding the hobby, the UPSC is not interested in your standard of photography, trust me. It is only to see what kind of a person you are. So that is the reason why hobby becomes important. And my suggestion is, if you are just trying to kickstart your preparation for UPSC, develop a hobby, see where your interest lies, and in that particular field, try to do something beyond it. See, there is a difference between hobby and interest. Generally what happens is, we have a practice of listening to songs whenever we find some time. That is not a hobby. Hobby means for which you will take out time delicatedly and deliberately. You need to take out time for pursuing a hobby. What you do when your time is available is your interest. It is not your hobby. For hobby, you need to make, spend some money, spend some time, make some effort to pursue that hobby. That is how hobby and interest is different. So my suggestion would be, pursue a hobby. Okay. Somebody is asking, sir, my area colleges lo cheating aapalante IAS avvacha. This fellow has seen the 12th fail movie. So he is inspired from that movie to do IAS. See, not only there are a lot of social issues in society. Who is this? It is Darla A. Ajay. Ajay is asking this question, that do I need to become an IAS officer to stop cheating? Trust me, to stop cheating, there is no need for you to become an IAS officer. See, UPSC journey is one journey. You should know why you are doing UPSC in the beginning of your journey only. If you do not have a strong why in UPSC, trust me, you will not survive the pressure of UPSC. You will give up. There is no point. So identify what is your why. నేను UPSC ఎందుకు చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాను. If the idea is, okay, you want to stop cheating, what if you become an IAS officer and you are not posted in your district, you are posted somewhere else, you will definitely not be posted in your district. So you are posted somewhere else. So you will never be able to stop cheating in your college area, because you will never get posting there. So you may get posting somewhere else. So try to understand, have a big why, not a small why. Have a big why, not a small why. There are so many social evils. Child marriages are happening, poverty is still there, so many other dimensional issues are there. So when we have all these things, then you understand that we need to have a very strong reason for pursuing this UPSC. Okay? Now, see the faculty here at Ekam IAS Academy, very, very happy to hear from Chakrapani. Tell me about faculty, sir. Okay, good question. For polity, we have Santosh Rao Menneni sir, who happens to be a very strong faculty presence in Hyderabad. For history, we have two of them, SM Azad sir, who's got over 3 decades of teaching experience, who comes from Delhi to take your classes, and we have Venkatesh Kotte, who is a localite but an expert on history subject. Then for economics, we have two very renowned faculty, SK Jha sir, who comes from Delhi, and Dhananjay Reddy, who is a localite who takes classes on economics, both highly experienced faculty. Then geography, again we have two very strong faculties. One is Vijay sir, who again happens to be from Delhi also, and he has some roots in Hyderabad. Then you have Sandeep Reddy. These are the two faculties who take these two important subjects. When it comes to other subjects like IR, we have Pavneet Singh and myself who take the classes on IR. I also cover your ethics paper. Ethics and internal security are covered by me, SPS Oberoi. Then you have for SNT, that is science and technology, we have Rajshekar sir, an experienced faculty. He is a doctorate in science and a foreigner who was a faculty professor in one of the finest universities. He takes care of your science and technology. For environment and ecology, we have Anusha madam, who is an expert and 5 years of teaching experience of environment and ecology. She also is our current affairs teacher along with Vidhay sir. So these are the GS part of this. CSAT is taken care by Jai Rao sir, an expert faculty teaching mathematics for around 2 decades now. Jai Rao sir, he is one very senior faculty in mathematics. So this is the GS part. So we also have optionals here, where the PSIR optional is taken by Santosh Rao sir. The geography optional is taken by Vijay sir and Sandeep sir, not this Sandeep sir, another Sandeep sir, and sociology optional is taken by Sandeep Reddy sir. So these are some of the optionals, and anthropology is taken by Venugopal sir, who is a doctorate PhD in anthropology, did his BA, MA and PhD in anthropology. So we have very eminent faculty. My faculty is my strength. I have ensured that the best of the teachers come to teach on the platform of Ekam IAS Academy. Okay? Yeah, I think we are exhausted with questions. Once again, thank you very much to everybody for patiently listening to this session. But one word of advice, if you are planning to write in 2025, do not delay it further. Time is running away. You will find it extremely difficult to cover all the dimensions comprehensively. 3 years now, this is the 4th year, but I am 12 years into UPSC teaching. For your information, our students, around 104 of my students are going for interview this year. So we'll have to wait and watch. I am expecting a huge figure of success this year also. So do not worry about that. You be worried about your preparation. Okay? The number of years of existing of this institution does not matter. How much committed we are in a particular year is what is the important. Okay? So try not to get into that ki institute kitna purana and all. It is none of your business. Institute can be 1 day old also, but if they are teaching you well, that is what is required. Okay? Fee structure for the GS, we are charging 1,40,000 rupees. We do give some discounts. When you come for personal counseling, the counselors have been given some leverage. They will give few discounts, then the management will do your personal counseling. This is probably the only institute where before giving you admission, the management will talk to you and then only give you admission. So the management will also give you certain discounts. So the optional fee, the GS fee was 1,40,000, which is inclusive of taxes. After discounts, you can expect anywhere between 1,10,000 to 1,15,000. Okay? And when it comes to GS, around 37, when it comes to optional, 37,500 to 42,500, depending on which optional you choose. Anthropology is on a little higher side, 42,500. Other options like sociology is 37,500. PSIR is 40,000. So it is depending on which optional you choose, the fee structure. There is not much scope of discount in optional. the optional rates are almost fixed. You may get 1-2,000 rupees discount. Okay? So one piece of advice before signing off I would like to give all of you is, as I was telling before, the time is running away. Don't think that you have long time, 2025 May, but trust me, in UPSC the time flies. So please do not delay it further. As early as possible, kickstart your preparation. Okay? Thank you. Jai Hind.